a once secretive Oriental art, kicked its way into the United States, where it took on new names, new faces, new techniques, and new champions. Over 4 decades, its champions have combined deadly striking skills of black belt proportions, devastating kicks, and destructive punching skills. And now, profiling the greatest of these, PKA presents the greatest strikers of all time.
We promised you the greatest fights and the greatest champions of all time, and tonight we have a classic. In 1977, a youngster from Greenville, South Carolina named Jerry Rhome challenged Hoosier Ross Scott for the heavyweight championship of the world. And Joe Corley, it was a war.
Yeah, one of the greatest. Jerry Rhome was considered the athlete with the greatest skills, the greatest arsenal in the sport of karate at the time. Ross Scott was considered invincible. He had just beat the legend, Joe Louis, to win the world heavyweight title. Now, the rounds were action-packed, but there were only 9 rounds at that time in the world title fights.
Let's go back to the Omni. Jerry Rhome versus Ross Scott as Bob Neal and Larry Black call the action.
Ross Scott has a 47-inch chest, Jerry Rhome 41, but Rhome has a 79-inch reach, and Ross Scott has a 78-inch reach, and so Rhome has a slight advantage there as far as arm length is concerned.
Here's the dancing you were talking about earlier. This is where you see it in the World Heavyweight Champion contender and in the World Heavyweight Champion.
And Jerry Rhome coming in kicking there. It was a slip when he went down. 2-minute rounds, remember now.
Jerry will probably be using less kicks to the head than he has in previous bouts because Ross Scott is taller than any of his opponents he's fought before.
And Rhome moving a whole lot more. Rhome in the red pants, Scott in the white. And the crowd loves the kicking style of Jerry Rhome.
Jerry will start a kick to one side of your head, and before you know what happens, he hits you on the other side of your head.
And Ross Scott's head snapped back there when Rhome got a left in on him. Minute 10 remaining in this round, and there you got a little bit of the idea. That round kick landed to the right side of Scott's head. Now Scott coming in kicking, not as much as Rhome. Devastating puncher, Ross Scott.
You won't see Ross Scott using many kicks, but the ones he uses will be very effective and good.
And he's got Rhome in that corner and landed a couple, but Rhome fought his way out and listened to the crowd. They're on their feet chanting Jerry Rhome from Atlanta, Georgia. 44 seconds remaining in round number 1, a 9-rounder.
In the championship, Ross Scott had to beat Joe Louis. Joe Louis is probably one of the strongest punchers in the world.
And Scott gets Rhome into the corner again, but you can see that Scott has got welts around his mouth where Jerry Rhome has landed some punches here, and that kick went to the side of the head, but not much damage. 20 seconds remaining in round number 1.
Ross is obviously the offensive fighter and Jerry the defensive fighter, but Jerry fights his best when he's on defense.
A couple of those Rhome punches landed, but also did a couple of the Scott punches. They say Ross Scott can take a punch. We have 5 seconds remaining in round number 1, and Jerry Rhome landed one there, a left hand.
So far, I'd say that Jerry Rhome has landed many more punches.
At the end of that round.
Well, I'd say Scott landed a few blows, but Jerry landed more, and Jerry seemed to hit Scott in the first part of the round.
That left jab landed on Scott. That jab by Rhome landed on Scott. We're in round number 3 now.
It seems to be going exactly the way Joe Corley said it was going to go. However, Jerry's getting hit more than he thought he would. Joe Corley said that Jerry Rhome would hit Ross so many times that they would pop down, and it would hurt him a lot more than he's ever been hurt. Ross Scott took Joe Louis' best shot and came right back and threw him right back at him, but he never got hit as many times in the whole fight as Jerry Rhome has hit him in these first few rounds. Good right hand by Jerry Rhome, but Ross keeps moving right in, pinning him on the ropes and then landing those hard body blows.
Minute 14 remaining in round number 3. Ross Scott, the heavyweight champion of the world, and he's got all this new handle here, and the number 1 contender, Jerry Rhome from Atlanta.
Ross is concentrating his kicks to the body, landing with the chin and the top of the foot. That's his forte.
Minute left in round number 3.
Good left hand by Jerry Rhome. Double left hand.
And that one landed good to the side, but Scott seems to be able to take the punches. And then he just wades back in. It's hard to tell the damage that these punches are are doing to Ross Scott, but Rhome is definitely landing more contact punches.
Jerry's got Ross Scott's timing now. He's moving just out of reach of those punches and landing his own.
The champion is down, and he takes the count from referee Jim Harrison. Jerry Rhome checks Ross Scott, and now he's on his feet for the 8 count.
Now you can look at Ross
24
Scott
seconds
come back
remaining in
down.
this round. Jerry Rhome back out. How much trouble is Scott in? And Rhome trying to move in. 15 seconds remaining. Ross Scott knocked down for the first time in his career. He may not get up this time. Now there he goes again. The clock, the bell may say in 2, 1. There's the end of round number 3.
Unbelievably, Ross Scott's corner kept them together. Let's go now to the 6th round.
It's amazing the punishment that Scott has been able to take, and he tries to work Rhome into the corner again, gets Rhome on the ropes, and now Scott comes in on him. Minute remaining in round number 6. Ross Scott seems to be getting stronger here, and the partisan crowd doesn't like the way he's forcing Rhome against the ropes.
Well, that's what Ross Scott said, is the fight gets tougher, he gets stronger, and he figured that Jerry Rhome wouldn't be able to dance 9 rounds, and, well, it seems that it's coming true. Jerry's still dancing, though, in round 6.
45 seconds remaining in this round.
Jerry seems to have gotten a second wind in round 6. He's coming back now. He's dancing more, and he's sticking into that jab more.
30 seconds remaining in round number 6. Both fighters seem to be taking a bit of a breather in this round. But here comes Scott, getting Rhome on the ropes again. And he's landed a couple, and Rhome is in trouble. And Scott is hitting him very hard now. Jerry Rhome in trouble. He's being pummeled by Ross Scott. Will he go down? He eludes the punches. 10 seconds remaining in the round now. Ross Scott's in trouble. Got him in trouble again. Rhome on the ropes. And Scott trying to land those punches, and some of them are landing. 5 seconds. Good back kick landed. Rhome is saved.
That's what hurt.
And that's the end of the round. This is the first time now earlier in that round when Ross Scott got Rhome into the ropes the first time.
In round 6, Jerry took quite a punishment. He took quite a lot of beating. People said Jerry couldn't take it much, but he just took it.
Now round number 7, Rhome still appears to be dazed. He has stopped bouncing and stopped moving as he was earlier in the fight. And Scott is once again trying to move him back into that corner. There he's got him on the ropes again. Scott now kicking more. That left jab connected.
Those front kicks are taking their toll. Those kicks to the body, they just take too much wind out of him. Jerry seems to be more tired than dazed. He's flipping his jab now rather than driving it straight in.
And when Rhome gets back into the ropes, he's in trouble. That landed, that left stunned him. And Ross Scott seems to be putting the touches on Jerry Rhome. Ross Scott has got him in the corner and is pounding Jerry Rhome. That right landed by Rhome.
It was weak.
Now body punches. And it appears as though Ross Scott can throw any punch or kick at will at this point in time in round number 6.
Jerry lost his high piece. He's in trouble.
Rhome has not gone down, but Ross Scott is working him over, and Rhome appears to be out on his feet, and referee Jim Harrison steps in.
The fight is over.
Ross Scott went on to fight many great bouts before his retirement, and Jerry Rhome is still in the game. When we return, Joe Coley talks about Jerry Rhome, Brad Hefton, Dennis Alexio, James Waring, and Karate Mania Drew.